Welcome back to the DNA Pest Control Podcast. This is Daniel.
And Aaron.
How you been?
I'm doing great. We're at our end of the month Q&A. Things have been good.
All been good.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it'll be exciting.
Yeah, let's dive into it.
It's always really fun to check everything out, see the new questions, see what's going on with everybody, see how you guys are actually doing out there in the field. All right, do we want to start with the short one, with the long one, get some of the easy ones out of the way? What do you want?
Let's do that.
Okay. All right. Once again, if we do not get permission to say your name, we're not going to say it. If you do not say that we can say your name, we just won't even ask, and we're just not going to say it.
There you go.
So make that really easy so we can skip all of the headache if there's any laws involved, which I don't even know. So
we'll find out.
We'll get a letter someday,
yeah,
and then we'll just take the episode down. So this is, hey, how's going? Big fan. Thank you so much. You guys have an opinion on AccuSpray 1 for interior use. This is from Australia. So AccuSpray.
I'm looking it up right now.
Okay, thank you. I know of the Actisol.
Oh, it's a B&G. It's like
is it the mini one? The mini B&G? Let me see it. I think I have this one.
You do?
Yeah. I do. I do. Yeah. Okay. Yes, I've used it. You have not used it. I don't think anyone else has used it. My opinion on it: don't waste your time or money. The only reason why is if you are going to treat a very small area. Okay, and I'll tell you when I used it. I was at a house that had high vaulted ceilings, and it was like a cabin style home. And they actually had carpenter ants up in each of the planks, up at the top of the ceiling, and there was tiny little cracks. So I actually tried to dust and bait first, which did not work at all. Literally zero effect. Mm-hmm. So then I had to go back out to this house, and I didn't want to carry a massive B&G with me. So I bought this one because it's just a little tiny canister, and you can actually hold it on your hip, and then you can reach out and spray. So it's really handy, but the only problem is you don't get a lot of chemical with it. You're talking, what is it, like 12 ounces, 16 ounces maybe?
Not even a full B&G size.
No. It's not a gallon. Yeah, you're not getting a gallon worth. You're only getting ounces out of this thing. Mm-hmm. Maybe 32 ounces max, okay? So quarter of a gallon. So don't use it. If you're doing an interior treatment on a home, buy a B&G. Don't waste your time with a freaking AccuSpray.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not. You can buy the same hose and nozzle and everything online for your B&G. And it'll do the same exact thing. I only did it because I thought it actually worked out really well. Mm-hmm. If you're getting on a ladder, and I literally had to go 2 stories up. I was on our full extended little giant ladder, in a V all the way up. Like that was the only way. And some of them I actually had to lay it on a beam fully extended out. So getting a B&G up on that ladder, holding it with one hand and trying to spray with the other hand, good luck. Okay. You're almost better with the backpack sprayer at that point.
100%, yeah.
But it does come with like the little twist nozzle like the B&Gs now come with, where you can get the jet stream. But then there's also an adapter where you can put a hose, and the hose reaches out another 6 inches or so. Mm-hmm. And so that's kind of the cool thing about it.
Got it.
That's when I used it. Outside of that, I don't know when you'd actually use it.
Yeah.
There's nothing special to it. So there you go, guys.
If I had the insight, I'd provide it, but I do not.
Yeah. You never use. Yeah.
Thank you.
So anyway, that's the AccuSpray, just super small. Look it up. Very, very rare occasions you're going to need it. Mm-hmm. Once again, unless you're on a ladder, that's the only time.
Yeah.
So, all right. Well, we'll go to the next one.
Onward.
Okay. So let's see. Good afternoon, or where you at? Good morning. Okay. Well, I'm not sure where you're at. I've decided to get back into pest control after 10 years. I found your podcast and have enjoyed listening to some of your past episodes. Anyway, thank you, by the way. Anyway, I was hoping you could point me in the right direction for some training to get a refresher and learn some new stuff as well as before I start. I think we've had this question before.
Very similar.
Especially ant and rodents.
I don't remember that part.
I don't remember that part either, but it literally sounds like a copy and paste of another one, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Well, go ahead.
Yeah, I think it was in our November Q&A we answered this, but get creative, get resourceful. Where you feel like you lack knowledge or information in, that's probably where you should start studying, whether it's with the products or the practices or what your company or you yourself thinks is the correct way or have been doing things a certain way. Maybe it's not the best way.
Yeah. Go back on some of our episodes too. If you want to learn some really good stuff on rodents, go back to any rodent episode that we have. That would be a great place to start too. Especially jumping back in it. Ants, we also have some great ones on ants. Jump into that. There's, what's her name? Oh gosh, I don't even remember her name, but, she is from, I want to say BASF. No, she's not. She's from Control Solutions. I had an episode with her, and she talked about the mode of actions with all the chemicals. A lot of our episodes, when you go onto the educational stuff, there's so much information there, and it's coming from experience. It's not like we're not doing this stuff, we're learning about the chemicals. We're in it just as much as you guys are. Now your state's going to be different than our state. So you may have different products and different rules and regulations. So obviously read the label, but most of your general use products that come on a truck, if you're jumping back in it, jump back in it. You don't need to study. I wouldn't. There's no reason to.
Yeah.
You're jumping back in. If you have to take a test, you're going to have to study material anyway. If you don't have to take a test, well, you're good. Just jump into it, get into a vehicle. Once you're in a vehicle, you're riding with somebody, relearning all this stuff. It's going to come back so fast, and you're going to have all the new chemicals. You're just going to have to relearn those chemicals other than the chemicals that were used 10 years ago.
Right.
Which, I'll be honest, my dude, wherever you are, apparently it was morning and whatever, but I've been in it 10 years. It hasn't changed. Not much. It has changed, but not a lot.
Yeah.
There's just regulations on certain products, but nothing's been taken away and nothing's been illegal, so everything that you have used is probably the same than it is today. Just depending on the new company that you work for, it may have changed there. So just read the label.
Yeah.
So there's not much you need to go back and learn. Now the rodent side of it, there's a lot of changes there. There's a better way of thinking. So throw your whatever you learned 10 years ago, throw that rodent stuff in the trash. It's probably useless today, but the insect stuff, the product things, read the label.
It's pretty cut and dry.
Yeah. Pretty easy. Hopefully that answered that question. Next one is actually an email I didn't see. And so I just wanted to throw. Oh, perfect. Yeah. So this is actually from Cedar. This is Matthew Blanchard. He's the CEO of Cedar. We did talk about it right after Pest World. We did get a confirmation. There is 100% free for life version of the product. So from Cedar. So anybody who's using an Excel spreadsheet, your little Google Sheets, throw that crap in the trash, get rid of it as quickly as possible. There is 100% free for life version of the product of Cedar for the one tech companies out there. Okay. I'm reading this word for word from his email. So
not sponsored.
Not sponsored. Yeah. He didn't pay for this. We're all about giving back and giving you guys this information, and he's obviously on board with doing that too. You're a one-man show. You just started your company. dude, get on Cedar. You're not paying a dime for it. They're literally giving it to you for free.
Yeah.
Use it. They can create their account from home and never pay for Cedar.
No, everyone's listening now.
Yeah, did you guys get that? Did you hear that? We realized that for a lot of small teams out there, the costs of software are prohibitive. Yet, they still need invoicing and routing, etc. So we just launched this update and would love to help the industry take advantage of the product. Boom. Customer support and training and data migration are still available. There you go.
There it is.
Okay, guys. So no questions. Get on Cedar.
Cedar, like the wood, Cedar.
Yes, Cedar, Matthew. And if they say anything or they want to charge you, say Matthew sent you.
Yeah. Start with that.
Yeah, poor guy. He's going to call us all pissed off. But yeah, so cool little thing. Not a question, but just wanted to give you guys a heads up on that.
I like that.
So they did actually launch it. It is going fully live. It's actually been now 2 months.
Yeah.
So 60 days. So it's still fresh. So jump on it. If you guys are just a one-man show, go do it. Go do it now. Sooner the better. So much easier.
Right.
Okay, this next one. And guys, on this one, sorry, before we read more of these, this isn't the one we just read prior to the show. So we read a really long one. We are going to get to that one very last. This is literally uncut right now. Everyone listening. I have not read this. I'm not going to read this one yet. I haven't read this one. So I'm getting this and it's fresh.
Okay.
So I don't know. I haven't even read through it. So
see, now I know that. I thought you've already read all these. And
No, some of them I did.
Okay.
Yeah. Some of them I did. Some of them I didn't. I saw it. I kind of glimpsed it, but I didn't actually get into detail. The one we read prior, I didn't even read it.
Yeah.
I just saw how long it was, and I was like, okay, I'm going to read this with Aaron because I'm not going to read it twice.
Okay, cool.
And now we're going to read it twice anyway.
Yep.
But today's episode has not pre-read any of these questions or answers or anything. This is literally uncut, given to you. We're not thinking. We haven't even planned this out. So we just got all the questions together, bundled it up, and now we're giving it to you. So we're giving you raw answers.
Okay.
Just so everyone knows. I wanted to throw that out there before we get into the next couple, because this one and probably the next one's going to be a little bit longer of an answer and more depth into the episode. But just want to throw that out. So this one, it says, first of all, thank you so much for what you do. I've learned a lot and had some good laughs. I usually pest control podcasts while I fall asleep. I'm not sure. Sorry, whoever read this, but and you are one of my top channels. Well, thank you. That's actually really cool. I actually have misconceptions of the industry playing now. Sweet, that's cool.
Dang.
Yeah, not right now, but thank you.
Yes.
Thank you for the email and thank you for sending that over. I do appreciate that. And it is always nice to hear that stuff. Because we don't get anything for this. And so it is cool when we hear that your guys' feedback, that we are helping, because that's the whole point.
Agreed.
Is to help. I heard during one episode we could send stories to you. So here is one. Ooh, let's sit back and relax, guys. Here we go. I was servicing a client's house for ticks and fleas and mosquitoes. We use a motorized fogger to treat vegetation such as grass, bushes, etc. His neighbor's dog apparently ran through an electric fence and was aggressively charging and barking at me. It was a pit bull, I believe. Okay, there's a lot of fog in the area. I was able to back away slowly and make it to my truck. Once inside, I called the client and asked him if he could bring his dog back in. He told me it was his neighbor's dog. I asked if he could call him, and he said he didn't have the neighbor's phone number, but would walk over. Client walks over, and maybe 1 or 2 minutes later, come back holding his arm. As he got closer, I saw blood dripping from it. The dog bit him badly, and it was a terrible situation. Oh, my goodness. Okay. Well,
Juicy.
That was not a question. But I have an answer.
Mm-hmm.
Guys, with dogs and pets, good job for sitting in there. There's nothing you can do.
Yeah.
the owner wanted to go over there and was being an idiot, let him go be an idiot.
Yeah.
I don't put myself in that situation. I'm not going to go in that guy's yard, especially if it's a bigger dog. It's call animal control.
And you would think that living next to the dog, maybe that's what the owner or the original guy thought. The person who got bit was, I know this dog. He knows me. I'm going to walk over there. But you as the technician, I feel like took all the proper steps to
good job.
avoid getting injured. So
yeah, good story. Definitely a good one to learn, from for anybody who's new out there is, in situations. Yeah, you definitely want to make sure you're, you're taking care of yourself because, you can't control what an animal is going to do and you don't know when it's going to snap.
I know even for me, sometimes I have to be better about being more cautious because, I'm like, I love dogs, so it doesn't bother me. And I'll walk in and sometimes when they're wagging their tail, but they're not really sure, they're kind of barking, I'll still try to get in there and pet them a little bit. But it's the ones that are just like stone cold, just staring. I'm like, probably not going to treat this unit.
I just ignore dogs. Yeah. All dogs. I don't care how nice they are. I ignore them.
Yeah.
I don't look at them. They literally don't exist. I just ignore them. Hands in my pocket. Don't even touch them. Yeah. I just don't care.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Yeah. I went through the phase of trying to pet them and be all nice. And then it's just no, you start petting them, then they start jumping all over you if they're nice. And then it just turns into a massive headache. Yeah. And then you're trying to get them off of you the entire time because now they always want the attention. So now I'm just they don't exist. They jump on me. I just act like they're not even there. So it works.
Yeah, it does.
They eventually leave me alone. But as a technician, do exactly that. You just back up, get in your vehicle, call the people. Don't even do it. It's not worth it.
Seriously.
You get messed up and that dude got it.
That's your spraying arm. Yeah.
Yeah, it's your spraying. Yeah, exactly. Be careful. Okay.
Thank you, by the way.
Yeah, thanks for the story. Not a question, not a Q&A, but thank you.
Take it.
We will take it. Okay. Next one is a very long one. Where do you want me to start with this? We already read through it once. Do you want me to read the whole thing? Should we take it as at chunks?
Yeah. How about this? How about you don't get the gist of everything, stop when you feel it's necessary, or stop when you feel like we've gotten to a question or a place where we can comment on. I'm counting about 3 or 4 breaks based on what we read earlier.
So go from the beginning? Yeah. Okay. Hopefully you guys are doing well. We are. Thank you. I'm not sick anymore, so we're good.
Yes. Thank you for that.
Yeah, thanks. He says his name, but he didn't say we can say it, so I won't mention his name. I have listened to your podcast for almost about 10 months since starting as a pest control technician a year ago. Your podcasts have helped me to learn so much more about ants, millipedes, rodents, and German roaches, as well as other pests. When you guys do an episode on pests, I find it very informative and valuable information. Keep up the good work. Thank you, and we will. And thank you for your labor of love putting out this podcast. I really learned how to educate customers from the podcast, breaking down the biology of the pests, their habitats, and some products you guys use for treatment. Now, for the reason I decided to email, I am looking for a little bit of advice. All right. So I am in South Carolina and have learned more about pest control industry from your podcast than any other source. I also use YouTube and NPMA Field Guide. My company does hold monthly trainings, but over the year has felt minimally useful, and I have learned heavily on fellow technicians and internet resources. I learned through trial and error, which is good. For most of my first winter and spring dealing with pests, moreover than having help in person. I feel like I have hit a brick wall in growing as a pest control technician and not feeling like I am lacking support from management, as well as resources to do the job. Is he saying he doesn't feel like he's lacking, or he is lacking?
From that I got, he felt like he's not lacking, like he has the tools.
And he has the resources.
Based on that sentence, maybe if you read a little bit further, it'd clear it up.
Well, I know. Yeah, we read it further.
Oh, yeah.
That's why I'm asking, because then it kind of goes back. So if you are listening, I'm going to be honest, And we have your number, so we may call you too, because that'll be a good episode. But I'm going to be very honest with you. I'm not going to bullshit around. I'm not going to sugarcoat this for the person who asked this question. I'm going to give it to you straight, exactly how I feel, because I'm that type of person, and I have a few things I'm going to say already that I will say here in a minute, but I'm going to give it to you exactly how it is. I'm not going to try to sugarcoat it. And why I'm pre-warning this person before we get into it, because we had another person we end up meeting, and they got offended by some of the things we said after an episode. And we got to talk it out, and it was good. But the problem is in this world, you can take things how you want to and manipulate what was said or whatever. Mm-hmm. The problem is if you don't like what we're going to say, then don't ask the question, because I'm not going to give you the answer that you want to hear. I'm going to give you the answer that you need to hear.
Let's hear it.
And there's going to be a lot to that. But I want to throw that out now because that other person got offended and was upset. Yeah. We got to squash it. But just because you didn't get the answer, you didn't hear what you wanted to hear, I don't care.
Yep.
Simple as that. Mm-hmm. Everyone's entitled to their own opinion. If you're going to ask the question, you're going to come on here, you're going to get what you get. That's it. Simple as that. So he goes, okay. Yeah, it does actually clear up. I have purchased a large amount of equipment to make my job easier or more efficient. So no, he does not have the resources. I would assume by that.
Yeah.
When I took over my route, I had a dozen of German cockroach infested properties that other technicians had been treating for 6 months to even over a year. I wiped out all German cockroaches infested properties by putting in the work to locate the nests, move the stove and the fridge, remove dishwashers, and even vacuum up the dead roaches and food that certain clients can't be bothered doing. Doing lots of follow-ups, I felt like I was making decent money. My company pays a base salary, which seemed nice at first, and then commission based on production. Once production pays back the salary, you earn bonus pay. The base salary is nothing to brag about, but at least I would still be able to pay my mortgage in a case of ramen noodles. Now for my first summer, it was miserable, hot, sweaty, and miserable outside, as South Carolina humidity will make you sweat just sitting in the shade for 10 minutes. Our work hours were increased, as well as the number of jobs that we were taking on during the summer. Do you want to add anything to that? It keeps going, but
I would if there was a question at this point.
Okay.
There is not a question at this point.
Okay, we'll keep going. In the off season, I didn't have mosquito treatments, fire ants treatments, etc., and was making a solid amount of commission despite my continuous follow-up battling German roaches, where I was making no money or production from the accounts until when the quarterly service ticket was due. And I would make approximately $25 for the service and commission production. This summer, I have worked longer and harder with minimal follow-ups required due to my increased experience and having learned my customers' route, minimize the likelihood of callbacks. My paycheck, however, has not reflected it. I have significantly less money over the summer than I did in the off season, working less hours. You want to add anything?
Do you?
Yes. Okay. So for this person, teching is not anything pretty. Okay. I hope I didn't make it sound like that when we've been doing the podcast at all. Okay. It's not a glorious job. Mm-hmm. You're not sitting in a beautiful office building, furnished with everything. It doesn't work that way. You're blue collar. Mm-hmm. Okay. You're going to sweat. It sounds like you probably grew up in South Carolina, so I sure hope you know that it's humid. I know it's humid. I don't live there. Mm-hmm. I could have told you that shit. Okay. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Summer's going to suck. I bet it sucks. I knocked doors in Texas and it sucked. Mm-hmm. I still did it, but I knew what I was getting myself into. I knocked doors out in California in 110, 115 degree weather, 119, I think it got to at one point in Sacramento. And I was outside knocking doors nonstop in the sun. No breaks. You don't get to eat if you don't sell. So that's teching, welcome to the world of techs. I talk about how we have it good and everything like that. Yeah, we do. We have a lot of job security. That's what I mean is we have it good. 2008 happens and you're a broker. Yeah, well, you're done, dude. You're in mortgage. Yeah, okay. Yeah, now you're finding minimum wage job, right? When it's good, it's good. When it sucks. Doesn't really fluctuate in the technician world. It doesn't fluctuate in pest control.
No.
We don't have, unless a hurricane came in and wiped out the city, dude, you got a job no matter what. It doesn't go away. So no, it's not going to be pretty. Now, when it comes to your pay and your commission, it sounds like you don't understand it. Now, this is a big problem. It's not a question that you asked, but I have had this with technicians in here, at this company. I've had guys come in and they're complaining about pay and they don't even know how much they're getting paid. It's insane. They literally don't understand. And I had to do the math with them.
Yeah.
I am sitting there and they're saying, well, you said I was going to make this. And I go do the math and I say, yeah, you did make that. Oh, I did? Yeah, you did. So what are you complaining about?
Right.
You're coming in and you're complaining about how you were supposed to make this amount of money and you did make that amount of money. So what? I don't get it. What are you trying to say? So just because you don't understand your paycheck or pay structure, you can't complain about it. That may be on you, not the company. I don't want to demoralize you more than what it sounds like you're already going through. Yep. But so far, what we're reading and what you're telling us, the story here, is it doesn't look good in the fact that you're not understanding what you signed up for. You're not understanding your pay structure. You're not understanding certain stuff. I think you're kind of getting thrown through the loop or they're taking advantage of you and you have no idea. And you're not sitting down with management. You're not sitting down with the owner. You're not asking what's going on. You're not double checking your paycheck. You're not taking the proper steps.
Yeah.
That's what I'm seeing so far. It doesn't sound like it's necessarily them. And I know a lot of times we've had a lot of guests on and we create this story of how terrible this company is that I work for. And sometimes you have to start to think, is it you or is it the company?
Yeah.
And it could be the company. But if there's somebody there still, it can't be that bad, right? If it sucked that much, there wouldn't be people working there.
It sounds like a combination of both, or it could be.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know exactly, but it sounds like there's some stuff that, you're working more hours. You may be getting shorted on hours or OT or something, and you're just not paying attention. Or, and in the case of with this guy, he came in and he's all, trying to figure this whole thing out. And it's just because he's spending more money. So he thinks his paycheck is less because he started going balls to the walls on buying everything that he wanted because he started making more money. And then it was like, well, wait, I'm broke still. When it's like, well, yeah.
Yeah, of course you are.
Yeah. You're eating out more often. You're buying more expensive things. You're going to fancier restaurants that you're eating at. Actually, we had a guy even prior to that who didn't go out on the weekends and then started making good money. So he started going out on the weekends and then came in all pissed off because he wasn't making enough money to pay for his weekend trips that he was doing with his buddies to go get drunk and eat food and buy all these alcoholic drinks at a restaurant, which are very expensive. It's like, dude, you can get drunk. You can just do it the cheap way.
Yeah.
Go buy a bottle. Don't go buy a fancy drink at restaurants. It's like, you don't do that. You're going to be spending $12.
Same price.
Yeah. You go buy a bottle for that. And then you can make as many drinks as you want.
Yeah.
you can go wasted, but it's like, what are you doing and how you doing it? If you were making really good then, are you still making the same amount, or is the check actually getting less? Or are you just spending more? There's a lot of factors there. I'll keep going. I've had a large amount of rodent activity in my area this summer, and my company does not have the traps, bait stations, and barely any bait to put in the existing stations we have. I'm given glue boards and copper stuffing. I had a problem with rats in the attic and had the customer buy some spray insulation just to seal the HVAC housing pipe that they were using to gain access. I have asked for supplies, including insulation, to be able to seal areas. However, none have been furnished, and the customers refuse to pay for a proper exclusion service when offered.
There's a few things there.
Let's hear it. Go.
I want to know how you're asking, first of all.
Yeah.
Because it's two different things. If somebody were to come to me and say, hey, I need a longer pole, or I need a taller ladder, I need something so I can do this, right? Versus saying, hey, on the past few rodent jobs I've been on, I've found that I'm actually unable to do a proper service to our company's standards without this piece of equipment. Is this something you can think we can add to our arsenal? If not, that's okay, but we need to communicate that with the customer, because I'm trying to provide the best service, or however you want to word it. So I'd start there. I want to know how you're actually even bringing it up, if you're even bringing it up at all.
Yeah.
Are you asking the right person? Are you just talking to coworkers about like, oh, it sucks, man, I don't have this on my truck. Yeah, I don't have it either. Oh, well, yeah, life sucks. And you guys just go on. Well, of course, nothing's going to get done.
Yeah. Well, it also sounds like it says here, the customers refuse to pay for a proper exclusion service when offered. So are you not the exclusion guy? Are you not the rodent guy? And you're trying to do jobs on the side for free where the company's not making any money, and that's why they're refusing. Because I would refuse it too. I would tell you, go kick rocks, dude. Why would I go and spend a ton of money so that you can go do half-assed jobs for customers to make a customer happy, but you're not even doing a proper job? I would say no to that too. And there's a reason to that.
Yeah. Are you saying, like, if the company themselves, they don't offer just in general?
No, it sounds like customers refuse to pay for a proper exclusion service when offered. So they're getting offered the correct exclusion, but they're saying no. You go out, you quote somebody, they come back and say no, then we have another technician go out and do another job, but they're doing it for free. But they're doing half-ass work. They're getting some steel wool and they're just stuffing some holes, and that's it. Here's some really cheap material. Make the customer happy, but no, we're not doing anything. So there's a lot of holes in the story right now, but it sounds like they do offer it. They're just, it sounds like you're not the guy. You're not the rodent guy. And that's where, as a technician, this is where, I'm going to tell you something you may not want to hear, is the customer says no. The customers, they decide, it's their money.
Yeah.
They don't want to do a proper job. Leave it alone. Don't bring it up. You got the estimate. You refused it. There's nothing I can do. Sorry, sir.
Yeah.
You didn't want it. There's nothing I can do.
Yeah.
I'm not going to do a half-assed job for you because it's not going to work. Customers need those answers. They need to hear that. They need to hear no. People don't like it, but you need to hear a no.
Yeah. That's a good point.
Very, very few industries are allowed to do that. A doctor will tell you no. My knee hurts. Open it up, doc. Surgery. And he's going to tell you no.
Yeah.
And as much as you want to kick and scream, no's a no. Sorry. Go out of the country or go to someone's basement.
Yeah.
Let them cut you open. I am not going to do that. Have fun. Right? It's no. Why don't we say no? Why can't we say no? We have completely twisted what customer service is about. Customer service is about telling people what needs to be done and the truth. That's it. That's customer service. None of the, let me patch a little hole for you for $20 or for free and everything's going to be okay. That's bullshit.
Yeah.
We should never do that. Why aren't we telling them no? That's customer service. They don't want to hear it. That's fine. I just told a lady this over the phone. She called up. She's like, can you spray a fruit tree? I said, well, are you eating the fruit? You know, or is it just a tree?
Yeah.
There's a very fine line there, but we can get away with it, right?
Yeah.
And she's like, no, we'll be eating the fruit. And I said, then no. No, we cannot.
Absolutely not.
Absolutely not. Not even close. Sorry. And she's like, well, okay, do you know anyone? And then I had to go into the explanation of why we couldn't. We don't have the licensing, things like that. But it was no.
Yeah.
No, we can't. No.
That's it.
Yeah, sorry. There's reasons behind it. Yes, I know how to do it. I can read the label. I could literally treat the tree for you. But for the state of California, I have to get that little letter on my license before I can do that.
Right.
And so until then, no, I cannot. Simple as that.
It's a proper way to handle it versus actually spraying it and saying good luck.
Yeah. So sorry, a little rant on the side. So, but learning about customers and customer service, you need to learn how to do that. Was there anything else you want to add on that?
Not yet.
Okay.
Let's keep going.
Not only has my chemical resources to combat seasonal pests appropriately dwindled or been available, my route has increased where my geographic location spans about 25% of the state and no resources being put into targeted advertising. The company has a lot of extremely rural clients and my zone's drive times are averaging 30 to 45 minutes, taking away productivity. The routing is done by the office and usually do their best, but have been overwhelmed with calls and turnover this summer. The owner prefers the customers to pick whatever time and day, and they build a route from it despite being given options on available blocks when I can focus on a specific geographic area. Excuse me. There are several other techs that have an extremely remote and broad zone that hinders production due to drive time. What do you want to say on that paragraph?
I want to know what your job is. It's kind of all over the place.
I don't want to be rude, but there's a lot of complaining.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
It's you're right, they're wrong. It doesn't matter what they would do, even if they condensed your area, it's going to be wrong because you're going to be driving out of your way at some point at some area. And it sounds like it is what it is on some aspects of it. And chemical resources have dwindled. Really?
In what way?
Really?
In what way? You know?
Well, that's what I was asking before. And this is why I wanted to give it to you guys is like uncut. Here we go. Cause really like that's like, this is real. Now it's not the first time we've heard it. Mm-hmm. Now the other one, he had a really good explanation. I mean, he was like 100 miles away and like, you know, storms in Canada, like crazy ass shit. Like this isn't that though, you know? So like really just gone, like, just like a company would do that. How are they growing if they're just like, there's nothing, like guys can't take care of it? It's weird.
Yeah.
It's weird and doesn't make sense. Not saying that it couldn't be real. It's just weird. How can a company get away with that?
We'd love to know.
I would love to know. Email me back. I'll email you and I'm going to ask some of these questions.
Yeah.
I've offered to help learn the system to make it more efficient. I have asked for company-approved door hangers to place in neighborhoods that I would like to service more homes and condense my route. I have put myself onto inspections to learn more about additional services our company offers despite to making anything just to learn. So far, the only thing I've been able to do is add myself onto an appointment with an experienced manager, technician, or inspector, and my ideas on properly expanding the company have fallen to deaf ears or the wayside. I started out full of life, motivation, and wanted to grow the company and make them more money as well as myself. Let's hear it, Aaron. Come on.
What do you want to hear?
I don't want to keep hearing myself talk. So you gotta throw some opinions. I can't be the only bad guy here.
Well, I'm just waiting for the story to end, first of all. Second of all, it's I don't know enough about the situation, about the company, about your role. But based on what I do know, I think there's a lot of self-reflection that's in order. I don't know where you're going within the company or where the company's going. I don't know your exact position. Are you stepping out of your lane, trying to change things that are out of your control and then getting frustrated out of situations that you're creating for yourself? Or is it valid? Or did they ask you for your opinions and they're shooting them down and you're choosing to stay there? I don't know, you know?
Yeah.
But at the same time, you are still there and dealing with it. So self-reflection is in order, first of all. You know, what do you got?
I know that the newer techs get the shittiest routes. Simple as that.
Oh, yeah.
Newer techs always get the routes that are way out in the middle of nowhere, that are the roughest areas, that are problematic and everything. The other problem is it sounds like if someone is declining a rodent service or a more expensive service, it sounds like they're probably in a poor area. Okay. And with that being said, is why expand in an area where there's no money? Business, economics 101. Why? You don't. You don't push for an area. Why would I spend all my advertising dollars in an area where I'm going to make $10 per service, you know, after expenses, everything's all said and done? Or would I push in an area that I'm going to be making $50 per service after expenses?
It's a no-brainer.
Well, the $50 would make a lot of sense, right? So, you know, when you're trying to push in an area that is literally just the slums, why? They may know something you don't know, you know? And going on what you're saying is, are you stepping out of your lane? You know, a lot of ideas, the unfortunate thing that people don't understand, and we had this big problem here, is there was a lot of ideas, a lot of changes wanting to get thrown out. The problem is the person that was doing it didn't understand the grand picture, you know, the big picture of everything.
Yeah.
And we're trying to change stuff, you know, a million times over. And it's like, we didn't even finish the first thing that we were trying to change. And then it's change. And we can't even keep up with how many changes are being made.
Yeah.
You know, so sometimes people don't understand that there's something bigger there. I'll go back even further. Okay. It was me, an office person, and a tech. That's it. 3 of us. That's all we were doing. Okay. The technician had a million ideas. You need to be in the office. You need to focus here. You need to be less in a vehicle, blah, blah, blah. All the opinions came in. Everything started coming in from this guy. But he would call out sick. He wouldn't be reliable. He wasn't working extra days. But he had all the solutions. But I had to run his route. Well, if I need to be in the office more, wouldn't that mean that you need to pick up your weight over here?
That would make the most sense, given there's only 3 of you.
Okay. So you have the answers of, hey, this stuff needs to be fixed. I know it needs to be fixed. How am I supposed to fix those things when I'm working from 5 a.m. till dark, 8 o'clock at night, 7 o'clock at night? And I still have to do office work. And I still have to schedule, and I still have to do all these other things, okay? I don't give a shit about a little piece of paper. I don't care about it.
Yeah.
I don't care about it. That is the last thing that's on my mind right now.
True.
Because I have other more important things to do. So a lot of the times we don't understand what's actually going on and what's happening. There's a lot of stuff that we think there's so many things here. This kid, he had the answer and solution to everything. The problem is he was flaky. He wasn't consistent. He wasn't doing what he was supposed to do. He wasn't pulling his end of the bargain. He was doing 15 appointments. I was doing 22. Well, how was I ever going to get done? How would I get those things done when this guy who knows everything and knows all and can do everything perfect and can get everything done, but yet they won't pull their end of the bargain. They're not pulling their side of the weight here. I'm doing it.
Yeah.
And they're just giving me feedback. Mm-hmm. Here you go. Here you go. Here you go.
You don't get there.
You can't. No. I can give you all the answers in the world, but if I'm not doing it, or I can't show it, or there's no reasoning there, or you have no time, or we're not making that time, then what are we doing?
It's pointless.
It's pointless, right? That's what I'm saying. So that's where I'm seeing on some of this is you're giving out a lot of ideas. You're throwing out all this stuff to fix certain problems, but are you fixing anything in reality? Mm-hmm. Or are you just creating more problems?
Bingo.
This person just created more work. Mm-hmm. This guy who was just throwing and flooding everything on me he had all these great ideas and all these little things, but he was just giving me more work. He wasn't doing any of the work. He didn't want to touch it. He just wanted to tell me, this is what you should be doing. Well, great. That's what I would love to do. But how? Mm-hmm. Well, we need to hire someone. Yeah, but how? We don't have any money to hire someone. Mm-hmm. So I know I need to hire someone. Thank you, Captain Obvious. But how?
Yeah.
You can't pull your end. I can't pull mine. How? Mm-hmm. Right?
It doesn't work.
So I get some of the stuff that you're saying, but also go back to, are you stepping on people's toes?
Yeah.
Are you staying in your lane? Is there the job slip there, which is a big one that can happen?
Oh, yeah.
Moving on, I was given additional areas to service since I am always keeping up with my clients, picking up more of days I work, and helping other techs in their areas at the end of the month. The additional areas only increase my drive time and reduce my pay. The company is focusing on expanding in other corner of the state and other states rather than organically grow in the surrounding cities where pest control is in high demand. I'm not getting commission. I wanted to say something. I'm not going to say anything. I'm not getting commission on services I sell because office staff is taking the credit and commission. I hadn't said anything about it because they have a tough job and have been underpaid and overworked as well. Now I feel burnt out and underpaid for my time. I feel like I don't have support or resources to do my job. I don't know what to do or try to get my mojo back. I've had several conversations with my manager, but he's always rushed and running around trying to keep up with his workload as well. The worst part is the company makes you sign a non-compete contract that appears that I can't work for another pest control company within 2 hours of existing customers. I generally loved pest control up until the summer, but the high turnover rate in the company is including all management positions, excluding the owner. There's a long ramble blah, blah, blah. I like the job and most of the clients on my route, but is there anything I can do to raise my spirits? When is the time to call it quits? And what are some of the things that I can do to raise my morale and feel like I am getting paid what I am worth in the company? The company has less than 30 employees and is trying to cover an entire state of South Carolina despite trying to sell the local small business family-owned company brand. Okay, first of all, sorry, this stuff pisses me off. Not what you're saying. So don't take this. Dude, you can have this small company family-owned feel and still do an entire state. Mm-hmm. Get rid of that shit. Get that out of what is wrong with people in thinking that to have the small family feel, you have to be one employee, one tech, the owner, and an office person? Why? Why does it have to be that way? What's wrong with people?
It's made up in heads.
Yeah. What's wrong with people in that understanding? Mm-hmm. Like, I've dealt with some companies that are massive and their customer service is pristine. Mm-hmm. I mean, freakishly amazing. Mm-hmm. Way better than a family-owned
Yeah.
It's just, they take care of you. They remember everything. It's awesome.
Yeah.
So who cares if they're covering a state? Who cares if they're expanding?
Yeah.
They want to keep it the family owned feel. Let them. Why? What's the issue there? There's no issue there.
No.
They can expand over 50 states and they can still be the family owned company.
Mm-hmm.
Who cares? They're not supposed, it doesn't mean small family owned. We got the freaking Jelly Belly factory here that has a factory in Thailand and they're family owned.
Yeah.
Like, so they can't be like family owned and like what? Just because they got another factory and they're, selling to the world?
People make it up in their minds of what they think it should be.
Yeah. Okay. Please go. Let's hear it.
Well,
We finished.
I was just trying to disarm you. I got your back. Obviously a very, very long backstory to a few questions that are in there. A lot of common themes are popping up. In that last part, the thing that stuck out to me was I'm allowing the office to take that commission. I'm not saying anything about it because their job is hard. Everything around that is still on you, but that specifically, that's on you, man.
It's pretty stupid.
That's very stupid.
Yeah.
I have a hard time with people complaining about things they're not willing to change. And if they can't see how they can change it, that's different. But you literally are saying because you feel like somebody else in the company perceives their job as hard, you get to make that decision of giving yourself less money to try to make other people happy that are apparently turning over all the time anyways.
Mm-hmm.
Where in that entire thing is there any sense?
There's not.
I've been treading lightly because I try to give people the benefit of the doubt and I want to hear people out. That very last part was really tough to listen to because it sounds like it's self-induced. And even if the originating factors are out of your control, how you look and how you handle the situation, how you respond to it is 100% within your control.
Mm-hmm.
And I think you have to take some real ownership and have some tough conversations. And if you're not talking to the owner about some of these things you're concerned about or your direct management, then I don't know what else we can do for you.
Yeah. I don't remember who said it, and I really wish I did because I'd love to give them every bit of this credit because I don't want to take even a little bit of it.
Mm-hmm.
Is in this world, you are paid what you are worth. Mm-hmm. It hurts. It hurts sometimes because we put ourselves on a pedestal and we assume that we should be paid so much more than what we are. And we are paid with what we're worth. Mm-hmm. You look back on a company level, it doesn't matter. We have what we have because that is what our common worth is right now. Mm-hmm. As we start to grow and we start to create more worth, we get paid more. Mm-hmm. And the company starts to grow. As you start to bring in more services, you're providing more, there's whatever it is, convenience, whatever it may be, you get compensated for that. Mm-hmm. The world will pay you. Sometimes there's a lag effect. Sometimes you start to produce more than what you're getting paid, but it does catch up to you.
Yes, it does.
It always catches up. And then at some point it will surpass, right? And then sometimes you'll catch back up to that mm-hmm. because you have to, mm-hmm. But that's just the world we live in.
Yeah.
You can't say, I feel like I should get more money. I do too. I really do. I feel like I should get a lot more. Mm-hmm. It just doesn't work that way.
Yeah.
And it sounds like if there's a lot of turnover, to me personally, how I've always looked at it, that means there's a lot of opportunity. Mm-hmm. Why have you not grown into management if there's a lot of turnover? it brings up a very concerning point. Because if people are leaving, that means there's opportunity for you to grow into those positions.
Yeah.
So what are you doing to hinder yourself? There's got to be something there. You know, self-reflection. You need to go back and you need to really think about what's going on. You need to really break down your situation and what's happening, because there's something that's going on that doesn't make sense. I don't know what it is, and he's the only one that knows what it is. But there's something there. There's something there that's going on.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah, and there's a lot of errors being placed here. You're not checking your paycheck. You're not looking at what you're getting paid. You're doing more work, but you're getting paid less. You're putting in more hours, but you're getting paid less. It doesn't make sense. None of this makes sense. You're giving commissions away that are yours. Why? It's your money. Dude, you have to take care of yourself. I don't care who's out there. It's like, you have to make sure that you are in good standing. You know, you have to make sure everything's okay. How are you allowing other people to take from you and you're okay with that? They're breaking into your house and they're stealing your stuff. You're fine with that? Like, you just, and the sad part, you're watching them do it. You're watching them take your TV off your wall and walk outside.
Yeah.
He's literally watching it happen. He's watching theft happen, and he's just not doing anything. Like, there's something there that's not there. There's more to this that we don't know.
Yeah.
Has to be.
I'd like to know.
We'll find out. I'll send an email.
Yeah.
But it's weird. A lot of holes.
A lot of holes. You have a lot of work to do, my friend.
A lot of work to do.
Yeah.
A lot of work to do. So, what are your final words on this one?
Get very clear with yourself on what you want and who you are. Get very clear with management in the company on what's needed, what skills are needed, what positions are needed, because you made a great point. Everybody leaving and people keep getting brought in and you're staying in the same spot after all this turnover. That should be a sign to you that whatever you're doing right now is not with the growth. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And okay, I'll even play devil's advocate for a second. Let's just say everything that he said was relatively true, right? And they don't supply him the supplies, the routes, the opportunities. There's weird stuff going on with commission. Let's say this perfect storm happens.
Yeah.
Why are you still there?
Well, that's what I was going to say.
What are you doing?
Yeah.
Like, what the hell are you even doing still there? You know what I mean? And like, I appreciate you listening and trying to be better and grow and committing to the industry, but it's like you said, you have to take care of yourself.
Yeah.
And if you're at a spot where you sign up for a job that says, hey, you won't make more than, X amount an hour in this position, and you stay in that position making what the contract says, you can't bitch about that. And then that's what I'm saying. It's like, take an honest look.
Yeah.
Figure it out. You're in control.
Well, and that's exactly the big issue there, right? So let's say, let's go in. Yeah, you're right. Everything is going. He asked at the very end, when is it time to call quits? And right now, call it quits.
Yeah.
Why aren't you starting your own company? You obviously know what's best. You know what's better. You know where the high demand is.
Yeah.
What are you doing? Like, what? Why wouldn't you start something?
Yeah.
They don't want to take that business. Go create your own company. Go take that business. How are they going to know? Don't go steal their customers. How do they know what you're doing?
Yeah.
Go get a license. Go start a company. Go after all the customers that they're not willing to go take. Go get it. What are you waiting for?
Yeah.
You know what's best. They're not giving you the opportunity. Go create it. Why are you sitting around? Non-compete my ass. Non-competes don't even work in today. There's so many loopholes around non-compete. If you are going to suffer and die, the government will allow you to even break the non-competes. Non-competes only are legit in the higher up sales world that you're working for an enterprise.
Yeah.
And it's a lot harder to even get into the industry.
Yeah.
Those non-competes are legit.
Yeah.
Pest control non-competes are bullshit. There's no backing to it whatsoever.
True.
There's nothing. Unless you're selling your business and then you're not signing a non-compete. You are signing a contract saying that you will not do any pest control business within 30 miles, 100 miles of that location. That is different. But that's not a non-compete because you are willing to sell what you're doing. You're selling your company so you no longer can get into that industry. Yeah. That's different. That's completely different. Mm-hmm. You are a technician in a truck working for someone. Yeah. This is your livelihood and this is how you eat. The government doesn't care about non-competes. Not in that world. Yeah. When you just made $1 million or even a couple $100,000 because you sold your livelihood, they don't give a shit about you because you chose that. Yep. There's so many loopholes there. So self-reflection, when to quit, what's your worth, go create it. You think you're worth more? Quit, dude. Leave. Why stay? Mm-hmm. There's no opportunity. Why stay? Yep. Why would you, and don't sell it that you're trying to make them more money. No, you're trying to make yourself more money, which is perfectly fine. Just say that. Yeah. I'm here to make myself the most amount of money. Mm-hmm. In the meantime, the company is going to grow and everybody's going to make more money. Yeah. Cool. That's okay. Because that's what the owner of the company knows anyway. Yeah. Literally. You grow. Well, you have to hire more people. You're paying more people, more things. You have higher positions. Officer positions open up, management positions open up. You have to pay more money. More money's going out. Yep. Everybody's making more. That's okay. Mm-hmm. We understand that. I know that. Hopefully Aaron knows that. I know it. We're growing the business so that we can make the most amount of money that we possibly can make.
I'd like to.
Yeah. That's the whole idea. Mm-hmm. And I know, and he knows, when we grow, we are making more money.
Yes.
There's not a hard concept.
Yes.
I mean, it may scare some people away, but it is what it is. Yeah. So when to call it quits? Right now. Just quit. Mm-hmm. Leave. Go start your own company. Yeah. If you can see all the loopholes and you know where you can focus and you know you can do 1,000 times better than what they're doing with the 30 people that they have or the 29 people, excluding you, and you can do better than those 29 people, start your own business, dude.
No brainer.
I don't know what's hard about it. There's no mojo. There's no morale. There's nothing like that. And, the sad thing on that side of it, and not to attack you, and I know this was a big attack, so you're welcome because it's going to make you stronger. But you are in control of your morale. You're in control of your mojo. Burnt out, bullshit. Mm-hmm. Nope. There's no such thing as burnout. Get rid of it. Throw it away. Throw it in the trash. You get bored, maybe. Mm-hmm. Burnout? I don't know. Yeah. I don't buy burnout. Mm-mm. I've never had it.
We talk about it a lot. I mean, even outside of the podcast, like burnout isn't real. It's just a lack of doing things you're truly passionate about.
Yeah. It's not burnout.
Yeah. It's just boredom.
Mm-hmm. It's boredom.
Frustration with yourself, bored of yourself, bored of what you're doing on a day to day.
Yeah. Yeah. And you've only been there 10 months.
Yeah.
And what are you expecting to make the world? Mm-hmm. Like, come on. Mm-hmm. I mean, it goes back to what we've seen and what we're going through. And it's unfortunate. Sorry that you're getting the shit under the stick here, for the guy who sent in the question. We appreciate it, but, I apologize, and I don't apologize for what I'm saying. I apologize that you're getting this and you're getting, this end of it. I'm actually very happy you're getting this end of it because I know you can learn from this and it should be able to help you at the end. Yeah. I don't feel bad about saying it. So I'm not saying sorry because I feel bad. Mm-hmm. I also want to make that clear. Yeah. I don't feel bad. But you create all of that. You can't jump in 10 months later and expect to get this massive salary and you're making all this money. You're the one putting yourself into a lot of these situations to learn and to have all this extra drive time. Yeah. Don't do it. Don't do it. Yeah. There's no benefit in sight. Did you sit down with management and say, hey, if I learn these things, will I make X amount of dollars after I do that? and you didn't do that, then why are you doing it? You know, most people aren't trustworthy. No. Just so everyone knows, if you didn't, you know, most people are scumbags. You know, it's real. You know, most people are just going to stab you in the back. It's probably going to happen. You know, it happens a lot.
It does.
So there's not that many people. I'm the sucker. I'm the sucker because I'm the guy who's going to help. That's where I see like some people. I'm like, dude, I just went to Egypt. I'll give a backstory on this. Just went to Egypt. There's this old guy, dude. He's like 80, maybe 90 years old. I mean, old ass dude. Okay, barely can walk. Doesn't know where anything is. Doesn't know what's going on. He's just freaking like handing out money, buying all crazy stuff. I'm like, dude, what are you doing? Like, you're going to be dead in a couple of years. Like, why are you buying all this stuff?
Yeah.
Like, but he's doing it, you know? And he was by himself. His wife died. You know, he has kids, but they can't just go and leave on vacation. So this dude's like living up life, just doing whatever the hell he wants to do, right? But he was just a mess. Just like, you know, and I'm the sucker. I'm the guy who's always going to just like keep him in the corner. You know, I'm always just like, he's in the corner of my eye. Anybody messes with this dude, I'm going full force on these people, right? Like, it's just not going to happen. But that's who I am. You know, so he sits down in the wrong seat. Some kid comes up, they start talking, and I'm like, Gary, you good, dude? What's going on? You know, what's happening? And he's like, well, they said this seat. And I said, give me your tickets. Where are your tickets? Where are your bags? Oh, they're up here. Okay. And I'm helping this guy. I'm going through everything. I'm like, Gary, come with me. You're back here in the back. Come on. You know, and he was good about it. He didn't get upset or anything like that, you know, but I'm helping him kind of go through everything. I'm making sure he's got himself together. Nothing's left behind. His bags, I'm putting his bags through everything, security. I'm helping this guy out. That's who I am. Not most people are going to be that way. No. Right? Most owners don't give a shit about what you're doing. Okay? They're not going to care about that. We've talked about it. We want the best for our guys. We're a different breed and we're probably stupid for it. We can't make them that way. You know, so I'm always there ready and willing to help the person who is less fortunate, and I'm always keeping an eye, and I always want to be there, especially if I can, you know, because that makes me feel good. And I like that. You know, but not all people are going to do that. So in this kid's situation, you're going out, you're doing all this stuff in hopes that you're going to get compensated for it. Dude, you have to do it the proper way, or you're going to get bit in the ass. It's not going to work out in your favor all the time. You need to be smarter about it. Sorry, a little backstory, but it's true. Not everyone wants to take care of that person. I do. Not everybody does. They're going to take advantage of that. And they see that you're doing that. You're putting in the work. You're doing stuff for free. They don't give a shit about you. They're not going to give you a bonus at the end of the year. They're not going to do anything extra. They're not going to take care of you. They just don't care. You know, where I look at that in a whole different thing, and I don't agree with those people, but I'm not those people, and I can't choose what they do. I just know who they are, and I know that they're not going to take care of this kid. You know, so if you are doing that, and it is such a bad experience, and everything is true, run as fast as you can.
Easy enough.
Simple as that.
Easy enough. Easy enough. This was a eventful Q&A, getting released on time, and I really hope that more questions and more situations like this do come up, because a lot of this stuff is taboo that needs to get ripped open. We need to talk about and address it, you know. So for you sending the question, we do appreciate it. Along with the other questions too, and the other comments, we really enjoy kind of going over it and breaking down what's actually going on. And, you know, when you guys are sending this stuff in, you can specify whether or not you want this on the Q&A, or if you want to talk about it on a Pest guest episode. I know we haven't had one in a few weeks now, so, you know, this would have been a good one if you're brave enough to come and talk to us and get us up to speed, because that's where real conversations can actually happen, and, you know, the truth kind of comes out a little bit, because at least Daniel and I, you know, we're big on facts, and
we want the story.
You know what I mean? We just want to know. But that being said, you know, we do appreciate the questions, whether it's on our email, through our website, or to our social media on Instagram. Thank you again for listening to the DNA Pest Control Podcast.